And he even said that because I was like, your numbers have been great. And he was like, I feel like I'm finally like in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think
Like you said, coming into his own,
yeah.
feeling more comfortable.
Yep.
Well, when I feel like, well, just from me going.
Yep.
Because we started going, I think in December-ish.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
but-
you've seen the
Yeah.
Yep.
But more people started coming like right after the new year.
Yes.
And it just, I feel like people, they just loved it after.
Yeah. Yep. Because it's been consistently like 7 or 8 people. Yeah. And even like John's class is 7:30 p.m. It's Tuesday night.
It's Tuesday.
At 7:30. So I'm happy that those times are working out because I know 4:30 and 6 doesn't work for everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, I love 7:30.
Yay.
Love it.
Christina's at 10:30 on Thursdays.
Nice. I can only do that on vacation.
Yeah.
Or in the summer.
All right. Let me just text any Zoom people, the Zoom. It doesn't change. I need to just tell them that. It's always the same. I love that the retreat worked out around here.
Yeah, me too.
The place is crazy. You're gonna love it. Yeah.
What is it like?
It's just so beautiful. I taught yoga at a Kirtan retreat there like 5 or 6 years ago, and the couple that owns it is awesome. It's an older couple, and they're just like the nicest people. But the land is crazy. It's like you're being totally like closer up than the other retreats that you can see the mountains in the distance. This one is like you're at the foothills.
I love that.
They have a huge rock labyrinth right in the middle of the property. Wow. There's a yurt that will have like the keratin and toxin. There's an awesome like fire pit. Yeah.
That's sweet.
And then the house for people that are staying for the whole retreat will be off-site, but we'll have the Buddha bus, so we'll shuttle people back and forth. Yeah. So it's good. Let's see, Joy Corona Zoom.
I'm surprised they don't have a house there.
Yeah.
They have a little cabin in it, but it only sleeps 6 people. So me, Josh, and Jules and Joanne are just gonna stay there. I was thinking like, oh, we could squeeze. And then I'm like, no, with Juliet and Josh, I want them to have their own space because she obviously will need to, like, she's not going to be a part of the whole retreat. And that's not within her bandwidth. Okay, cool. Shut the door. We have a slow roll this week.
Yeah, it's school vacation week.
I know. School vacation week can be hitting that. Sometimes people are all in, and then others are like, I'm gonna sleep in a little bit now that I don't have to drive my.
So many people go away.
True, that's true too.
I coach volleyball, and we had 1 kid at practice.
Get out of here!
Well,
oh wow,
we have like 10 kids.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So a ton.
I guess we normally do go away. Like I've usually, but I took them. I did a February vacation this year instead of a April.
Nice.
I forgot my dad's birthday yesterday. I woke up this morning. I was like, it's April 22nd. Yesterday was his birthday. I'm like, sorry, Dad.
Sorry.
He's like, it's all right. I'm gonna be here. I'm like, all right. So how are we feeling this morning?
I had a rough weekend.
You had a rough weekend. So fabulous, rough weekend.
Yeah.
All right. And do you want to share it all? Or you don't have to, but okay. But you're here now?
I am.
Are you taking yoga at 9 too?
Yeah.
All right, good. That's good.
Ex-husband bullshit.
I had a feeling
Crazy
you have that look on your face
bullshit.
that says
bullshit.
Yeah. Yep. Good. Well, this practice, we'll do our purification breath and we'll do meditation and hopefully change that around for you a bit. So Neijong, did we do Neijong in yoga teacher training?
Don't ask me.
I
know. We talked about Ram Dass, so
right.
Don't ask me.
So Neijong is Tibetan self-healing yoga. And it's a whole like a series of breathing techniques and movements. So we're just going to work on the breathing technique today, and then we'll segue that into meditation. Maybe we'll do a couple of the healing techniques. The whole process takes longer than an hour, especially when you're new to it. So all week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday this week, I'll be introducing new steps basically. But the purification breath is awesome to do. It really just like it makes that switch in the mind. Like if you are having a crappy day, or even if you're feeling tired, like physically tired, or if you're feeling great, it just kind of adds to it. It allows you to release even more because it focuses on the channels in the body. So we have our central channel that runs like right in front of the spine, right? These are energetic channels. And that one is kind of controls, it's the control panel for all of the energy, and connects with our nervous system. And then there's two channels, one channel on either side of the spine, that where the energy runs through and then runs up the central channel. So up, down, you can just imagine there's always this process, much like the chakras, right? There's always this movement of the chakras, the energy coming in and out. It's how we interact with the world is through the subtle energy system. That's why we feel physical sensations and emotion. It's all tied in with the nervous system. So when we do the 9-part purification breath, we're always calming the nervous system in any yoga that we do. So this is very much, similar as far as that goes to calming the nervous system. And once we calm the nervous system, then everything falls into place. We're like, oh, we're regulated again. We're not just fighting for our lives, that fight or flight, that right, right. That I don't know, we exist in such a weird fight or flight in like these times that we live in, because we're not fighting or running. We're literally sitting, and most of that stress comes in visually. And so it's like this so internal, and our bodies don't move through it most of the time. So that it's like so much worse, the stress that we're enduring. So these practices are really more important to help to alleviate that and to regulate the nervous system, so our bodies can focus on other things besides stress. Imagine.
So I went to Erica's party thing that she
Oh,
had
good.
yesterday,
Yay.
and I did yoga, and then my mom texts me and says, "Can you get dressed?" Me, and I'm like, "Why?" And I was like, "Yes, but why?"
Yeah.
She's like, "I'm just super busy." I'm like, "What?" And I feel like if I'm taking her to the doctor today,
Yeah.
but if I didn't do that, I think I would have been way more stressed than I was if I didn't go there.
Right,
So,
right.
And I'd be feeling way more stressed today knowing I'm taking her to the doctor.
Yep.
But I'm not. I'm
Yep.
feeling so much better, I think, because I went and did that.
I love that, because
So,
then
yeah.
that's exactly the point, right? So we can like have awareness of our reactions to things,
Right.
and then choose how we react versus just freaking out, right?
Exactly.
And then you wouldn't have slept good last night. It's a
Yeah.
whole snowball
Mhm.
effect. So yeah, for sure. That's a great example. I love it. So let's just close our eyes so we can settle into the space. I'm going to blow this candle out and relight it, since the wick is too big and spot. But in the meantime, you can close your eyes. And just use this time to arrive in the space. Arrive in your body. And while we sit here and just connect with ourselves, I want to read one of the Yoga Sutras from Patanjali, which really relates. This particular book is an intersection between the traditional Yoga Sutras and Buddhist roots. So it's very interesting how connected they are. It makes sense when you start to learn about it, but it says, faith is the confidence of mind. When the aspirant, desirous of discriminating knowledge, has faith, energy is generated in him. In whom energy has arisen, mindfulness becomes present. On presence of mindfulness, the mind, which is undisturbed, attains concentration. In the person with concentrated mind arises discriminating wisdom. So you can see that cycle right there, right? In the person with concentrated mind arises discriminating wisdom. So that exists in us all the time. We just have to get in touch with it. Faith is the confidence of the mind. So there's that letting go of the desire to try to control everything. However you want to define faith, it definitely does not have to be religious. And I feel in this definition within this sutra that it is relinquishing control, right? And that brings confidence of mind when we can kind of let go. So with faith, energy is generated in him. And it's so true. It's everything that we just said about even just stress, right? Is when we can regulate our nervous system, then the stress obviously diminishes and we can get in touch with our true nature. Our body can be healthier. And everything comes with that. The wisdom flows because it's all there. So as we begin to tap into the channels of the body in this 9-part purification breath, we're going to make it more than 9 parts. We're going to do more than the 3 rounds, which equals 9 parts. Begin to imagine, we'll bring in one form of imagery first and then another as we actually begin it. So if you can imagine, like I mentioned before, that you have this beautiful central channel that runs about 4 finger widths below the navel and all the way up to the crown of the head, the very top of your head. Beautiful blue energy, this sort of clear blue, darker in nature, beautiful blue, okay? And that central channel is something that we want to have as clear as possible, right? Because like I said, it's so intertwined with the chakra system, with the nervous system, and essentially the whole body, physically, emotionally, and energetically. And on the right side of that, so the right side beside the spine, this one, you can imagine these side channels. They wrap around the sinus cavity, like around your cheek kind of, and then it comes up and arches over the eyebrow and then comes down beside the spine, all the way down to that same point, 4 finger widths below the navel. And that one is red. So if you can imagine this red channel that runs down, it's connected with the solar energy, so more masculine energy. And then on the left side, same thing. It starts right at the nostril. It comes up, arches over the eyebrow, and then comes down. This one's white, and it's connected with lunar energy or more feminine energy. So if you can just get a visual or a sense of those 3 channels, blue in the center, red on the right side, white on the left side. And place your hands right below the navel so you can connect with that point. That's our vessel, right? Women are lucky enough, we're born with that vessel. We're born with a womb. Men have to try really hard to generate the energy there, generate a vessel. So when we do this breath, you can keep it in the back of your mind that you're generating and storing this pure, beautiful energy in that vessel, right? For your body, your mind, your speech to use throughout your day. And again, just like all of our other practices, this becomes our thread, the thing that gets us through, the thing that maintains our awareness, the thing that allows us to recognize that we have a choice in our reactions to life until we practice again, right? And the more we practice, the greater awareness we have. Here it says the Vajra body, energy, and mind, right? The energetic body, according to Tantric Buddhist teachings. And Tantric just means method. It's not what we think of it in America. Our physical body as we know it, with its flesh and blood, bones, organs, and other material substances, is only one aspect of our body in a wider sense. Similarly, our speech or voice that communicates with others is only one aspect of the broader dimension of speech energy. Just as our everyday mind, with all its thoughts, perceptions, and imaginations, is only one aspect of our mind, beneath and within our ordinary body, energy, and mind is a more subtle anatomy, what tantric texts call our Vajra body, Vajra speech or energy, and Vajra mind. This is our true nature, the subtlest aspect of our anatomy. The word Vajra in Tibetan has many meanings, but is most commonly translated as indestructible, right? So you're creating this indestructible energy. Vajrayana Buddhism is the indestructible vehicle. Indestructible implies strength and power, but more than that, it also points to non-duality. All the seemingly solid things that we and other beings perceive lack any inherent independent existence. They are compounded out of many parts and arise interdependently through the coming together of various causes and conditions. All of these apparently stable and separate phenomena will eventually break down or decompose. Yet the basic nature of things, which Buddhists call emptiness, emptiness of inherent, enduring self, can never be broken, right? So we're cultivating this part of ourself that is indestructible. It is indestructible, just like space itself. Many English speakers have the idea that emptiness implies a sort of void or nothingness. The truth is that rather than implying an absence or lack, emptiness is about latent possibility, right? Infinite possibility. Emptiness means that anything is possible, that there is always the space or potential for the manifestation of countless possibilities. This is the meaning of Vajra. And our own Vajra nature is exactly like this. So as we sit here in our meditation posture, maybe we can feel our spine growing a little bit taller, but in a way where we're still connected to the natural curves of the spine. When we lengthen up like that, we can breathe a little bit easier. And then again, the imagery of those three channels The right is red, the left is white, and the middle is blue. So we're going to take our left index finger and gently block off the left nostril. And we're going to take our right index finger and we're going to outline the breath in the form of the channel on the right side. We're going to do the same thing with the left side. Third breath, we outline central channel, side channels, and then central channel. I'll explain all of it. So gently block the left. The right index finger is just a few inches away from your body, but we're guiding the energy. So we inhale in through the right nostril. And that right index finger comes down the central channel. It lands the 4 finger widths below the navel. We hold the breath and imagine the energy rises up the left side. As it rises up, we gently block the right nostril and exhale out through the left. We inhale through the left side, again, outline. It comes down, tucks right below the navel. We hold the breath. It rises up. We're still guiding this energy with the index finger. As it rises, we block the left, exhale right. Then both index fingers, we inhale in through both nostrils, outlining the channels beside the central channel. It comes down to that point below the navel. Holding the breath as it rises up the central channel. We trace that. We exhale out through both nostrils. Good. Come back to blocking left. Inhale right. Keep using your index fingers. Inhale. Tucks below the navel where we hold the breath. It rises up the left side. We block the right. Exhale left. Good. Inhale left. Tracing it with the index finger all the way down. Gentle hold as it rises up the right side. We block left, exhale right. Good, both fingers. We inhale through both nostrils. It comes down the side channels. We hold below the navel. Let it rise up the central channel. We exhale out through both nostrils. Perfect. And then we come back to the right. Block the left, inhale right. Keep on tracing. Tuck below the navel, it rises up the left. Blocking right, exhale left. Good, inhale left. Hold below the navel, let it rise up the right side, and then block left, exhale right. Inhale through both sides. Tuck below the navel as it rises up the beautiful central channel, and we exhale. Good. Release your hands, come back to your breath. We'll do more rounds of that, but let's just take a moment. Tuning in. So you can start to feel that little shift. I always feel it when I open my eyes back up and I feel like this is where you know you don't actually need to smoke pot. Because if you open your eyes and you feel a little like that. Not that I know what that feels like, but anyway. So we're going to bring in a little more. It's true. Like, you know, you open your eyes after you breathe or meditate and you're like, oh, there I am, right? So how are we doing with the imagery around that? The red, the white, the blue. Okay.
I was more thinking about what my hands were supposed to do.
Okay. Yeah. And you'll get used to it because there is. Yeah. Right. So we do
Like
trying
to watch you, but also keep my eyes closed.
So we're guiding. So it's like we block left.
Yeah.
We inhale right. It tucks below the navel. And then we guide it as it rises up. And then we exhale.
Yeah.
Inhale. You guys were getting it. It rises up. We block. We exhale. And then both sides. Okay. And then it rises up and we exhale. That's one round. So we just did the 9-part, a version of the 9-part purification breath. There are other aspects, like I said, that will build upon as we go throughout the week. Even if you can't come Wednesday, Friday, there's always a recording that I will send out. Yes. Okay, so let's add to this now. It gets super interesting. You can keep your eyes open as I explain this. So the right side, the solar energy, the red side, okay, is where we hold and can also release anger and aversion. So they talk about really strong emotions that can affect us that we work on purifying. That's why this is the purification breath, okay? So the right side is anger and aversion, and the element is fire, and the animal is snake. So in Tibetan Buddhism, they'll have you try to imagine, there's a lot of imagery with Tibetan Buddhism, which I find super helpful when it comes to like healing and purifying. But some people aren't visual, and that's why I always say visualizing or sensing, because some people sense. So either one is okay. So when we do it this time, we're going to inhale and imagine red, that it's red smoke. And if you can imagine like snakes in there, it's basically kind of collecting the anger, the aversion. And as it comes and tucks under the navel, as it begins to rise up, you might begin to imagine it this beautiful rainbow energy. Vajra has a lot to do because Vajra also means diamond, which is like a prism, right? Like the light that shines through a diamond creates a prism. And that's supposedly what our energy would look like. And they say it's like the light of a full moon, right? So different than the sun. The full moon just like shines this beautiful, like gentle, you can tell it's the lunar, it's the feminine like aspect of life. So it just exists in this beautiful way. It's not glaring. I mean, the sun is beautiful too, but it's not glare. It's a different. So yeah, it's like a glow, right? So imagine that's like what exists. So in this visualization, and we'll get to that, you imagine yourself as that light, empty of all your organs, your bones, your blood. You're just that beautiful like rainbow moon, full moon light that exists. So then you're in that space that I talked about, the space of emptiness, which is really infinite possibilities. So when you do the purification, you're tapping into that space. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to like think of things you want to manifest or anything like that. You're just in it, and you're allowing yourself to kind of bathe in your natural state, right? Which I don't know, to me, that's pretty relaxing. Bathing in your natural state. So now the left channel, which is the lunar, the white, that's associated with the emotions are ignorance and delusion, right? So imagine we're getting rid of anger, aversion, ignorance, and delusion. If we got rid of all those things, it would be pretty amazing, you know, if everyone in the world could get rid of all those things. So we're purifying that side that holds the ignorance and the delusion. So with the white, and the animal associated with that is the pig, and the element is water and earth. So we bring in the elements that helps to balance the body, you know, just like Chinese medicine. So when we inhale the white side, the left side, we're imagining white smoke. If you're able to imagine the pig, right? You're collecting to get rid of, to purify the ignorance and delusion. And when you exhale, maybe you imagine white smoke with all that stuff coming out, and behind that is that beautiful diamond energy, right? Because you see that it is cleared out. And then we get to the central channel, which the energy is neutral, the color is blue. The emotion is desire and attachment. So Buddhism, they just get right to it. They're like, if you just get rid of anger, aversion, desire, attachment, ignorance, and delusion, you're good. No big deal. Yeah. No big deal. When you start to really boil it down, you realize everything is those things, right? It's this wind, the element is wind, and the animal is rooster. Okay, so same thing. You can breathe it in on both sides. Maybe you're breathing in blue down both channels, and then you allow it to rise up. Maybe you're imagining that you're breathing in red and blue. It meets below the navel, and then it rises up and turns into that beautiful Vajra energy. Okay, so you have a little more detail to go into it this time around, and do what you can. Don't like try too hard. Just let it be what it is. And I'll bring in some of those visuals to help you along the way. So close your eyes again. Sit up tall. And you're always welcome to sit in a chair or sit up against a wall, because I know sitting is hard, actually, when you sit up tall. Sitting for a long time can be uncomfortable. So we're sitting up tall. We're taking a moment to connect with that moonlight energy. So if you can begin to visualize yourself as full moonlight, which is fun because you get to free yourself from the heaviness of our bones and our organs and our blood, and you connect with that state that's always there, that Vajra energy that is infinite potential. And when you're ready, we'll start with the right side. So block the left gently. Red side, right side is red. That's how I always remember. Right side is red, R and R. And we can inhale, imagining this red smoke. Maybe you can visualize a snake, but it's collecting the anger and aversion. It meets at the navel where we hold the breath. It rises up. Behind that is that beautiful prism light. Block the right, exhale left. See that red smoke leaving the body. When you're ready, inhale through the left side. It's white. We're collecting, purifying ignorance and delusion. We hold below the navel. It rises up. Maybe you imagine a pig here. When you're ready, block right, exhale. Block left, exhale right. Central channel. We're coming from both sides now. Inhale, red, white, comes down, tucks under the navel. It begins to rise up as we're releasing desire and attachment. Maybe you imagine a rooster. Exhale out through both nostrils. Good. We come back, block left, inhale right, red. Let it tuck under the navel. Rise up the left side. Block right, exhale left. Inhale left, white. Tucks under, rises up. Block left, exhale right. Both sides. Inhale. Beautiful Vajra light. We can breathe it in, tuck below the navel, let it rise up. And we exhale, releasing desire, attachment. Right side again, block left, inhale right. Tuck under, let it rise up the left side. Block right, exhale left. Inhale, white smoke. It tucks under, rises up the right side. Block left, exhale right, release. Anger, aversion. Inhale, both sides. Let it come down, tuck under the navel. Purifying, releasing as it rises up, desire and attachment. Central channel. Good. Back to the right side. Block left, inhale right, purifying, ignorance, delusion. Hold as it rises up. Block right, exhale left. Inhale left, white, purifying, anger, aversion. Let it rise up. Block left, exhale right. Good, both channels. Inhale, bring it down. Let it rise up. Exhale. Come back to meditation posture, imagining that full moon light. Resting in the ease of your true nature. Of course, the bhakti yogi in me always wants to bring love in right now when we're all clear and we're sitting in our full moonlight. It seems natural for me to want to generate love in that infinite space. So see what comes up for you, what you want to generate. Stay in this space and do another round. So when you're ready, block the left. Use your index fingers. Inhale, right. Tucking under the navel, it rises up. Blocking right, exhale left, release anger and aversion. Inhale left. Let it rise as we release ignorance and delusion. Block left, exhale right. Inhale through both sides. Comes down, tucks under, rises up to release desire and attachment. Block left, inhale right. Breathing in that red smoke, let it rise. Block right, exhale left, release. Inhale left, white smoke. Let it rise. Block left, exhale right. Inhale through both sides. Bring it down, let it rise up. Releasing attachment. Block left, inhale right. Let it rise. Block right, exhale left. Inhale left. Holding as it rises. Blocking left, exhale right. Inhale through both sides. Let it rise up the central channel. Exhale. This time, block left, inhale right. That beautiful rainbow light comes down the right side. Holding at the navel, it rises up. Blocking right, exhale left. Same thing this side, inhale left. Beautiful rainbow light. Tucks under, rises up. Exhale left. Block left, exhale right. Both sides, inhale, rainbow light. Let it rise. And exhale. Sit in meditation. Full moonlight, infinite potential. Above your head, you can imagine an image of the Buddha, which symbolizes that infinite wisdom. the energy of that infinite wisdom. Like an aura around your body. Front, back, sides, all around. Dissolving that image of the Buddha into your heart. Where we set an intention to have our body, speech, and mind enlightened. Enlightened body, speech, and mind. And that keeps us connected to the 9-part purification breath. Having that guidance to enlighten our body, speech, and mind. We always extend things out outside of ourselves, where we ask, may all beings be free from suffering. May all beings know joy and the causes of joy. May all beings have food, shelter. May all beings know love. Beings be free from the causes of suffering. May all beings know happiness and the causes of happiness. For as long as you'd like. But when you are ready, you can open your eyes. So we have a few minutes too. I would love to discuss. Well, obviously, if you have anything that you want to share about the practice, then feel free. Like how you feel when you're in that space of imagining yourself as infinite potential. You know, what does that feel like for you?
It's just relaxing.
Yeah.
It's cozy.
Feels like natural when you're there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out the word, and I think natural is exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, right?
It just felt, yeah, it just felt right.
Yeah. Totally.
I went to a salt room meditation once, and they had us imagine like it was a white light. So
Yeah.
it was just really cool to have a similar.
Yeah.
And it was not like a Buddha. It was different.
Yeah.
And so it's really cool to have the same thing, because I loved it there, and it's just awesome to be feeling the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oftentimes, no matter where it's coming from, Buddhist or not, there's like that description of a white light This was the first time like studying the Buddhist stuff. It's been described as that full moonlight, which
I love
again, I do too. I don't, there's something about that, probably because we're females, we connect with that kind of energy. Where it just feels so natural. And then, like I said, my little bhakti temper, I can't help but infuse when I get to that point with love, because it's just what I feel connected to.
What's a bhakti temper?
Like bhakti is the yogic path of like love and service, which like it's connected to the kirtan and so it's what I feel very, very connected with that path. And this path. So I always just fuse the two together.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but not everybody does. Like in Buddhism, they don't. They say emptiness. And I have found that interesting for years. Like just recently have I had it described in that way where it means infinite potential, right? Because emptiness can sound so
Nothing.
like right, like
Yeah.
kind of like yucky.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why do I want to be empty?
Yeah.
Like soulless, right?
Yeah.
But when with different teachings, the way that it's been described by different teachers, and I think maybe I was even hearing it wrong for a long time, as that infinite, that's really what it is, what empty, how everything is empty. The way that it's been described that sticks with me is that everything is empty or void of definition until we define it. You know what I mean?
We just fill it with a bunch of stuff. But that's how I was feeling, like actually more connected to myself.
Yes.
As opposed to like everything else around me.
Yeah. Right. And even within that, like it can get to those subtle levels that he was talking about that I read earlier of like, there's no such thing as anything, even us, right? There's not like Jen in the universe. Like I'm made up of all the other things that exist in the universe, all the different parts that put me together to create what is called Jen. And the same thing with you guys, right? Like there's no Christina and there's no Julie, like that just drops in as one solid thing, right? And same thing with plants and animal, like every single thing, nothing is independent. That's kind of like, to me, that was like, wow, like nothing is, that's why we're so interdependent. And that's why like these teachings to me are so profound. So I'm like, we're all so, so, so connected because we literally are each other, like we're all the same. And then
I struggle with that sometimes because I'm like, how can this idiot be me too? Like, how are we the same?
Well, we have personalities, those things get in the way. And we have like untrained personalities. That's part of the problem in the world, is the untrained personalities and people that associate or identify with the parts of themselves that cause harm, and like totally unaware that they're causing harm or thinking that that's what power is. And this is where a lot of our worldly problems come from and interpersonal problems come from, is that the untrained mind, which is like, why isn't this training part of our school system? Like developing awareness. That's all. It's like literally all it is. Because I think once you develop awareness and your ability to affect your environment, how could you possibly consciously choose to cause suffering?
Yeah.
Right? It's like, I'm sure some people could, I guess. But then after you develop like compassion once, then I don't know. Yeah, it kind of that's one thing that does boggle my mind. I'm like, if everyone just started when they were born,
yeah,
the world would be, I mean, the Dalai Lama says if every kid learned how to meditate by the time they were 8, the world would be, in one generation, the world would be a completely different place.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. It's so easy too.
I teach pre-K at Atkinson Academy and I started doing like I don't call it meditation, but
Yep.
I noticed.
Yep.
I had the kids, we learned about robots, and I had them like power down like a robot, and I like brought them through like something that made them happy, and I had them talk to me about it, just because they're learning about impulses, and like how to. So I had them like just slow, like late, whatever it meant to them to power down, whatever that was, and they all knew what it meant. They all like
They do.
Like, they all like just laid down, and then or did whatever they needed to do, and then I just asked them like where they're. This is my favorite one, where they were a place that makes them really happy, and think about what that looks like who you're with, and the things I heard them say were just
like
adorable.
What are some of the things?
Well, my favorite one that I can remember was this one kid. And he gives his parents a run for his money. Like, he's hysterical. Oh my goodness, I think he's the best. But he does have a mouth, and not with me, but with his family. And he said, he's like, I was at my grandma's house. I was holding her hand. I love holding her hand and playing with her. And I told his mom, and she was like, he loves her so much. Like, they are just like, it was the sweetest.
Wow.
So I've been doing a little bit. I do it like probably once a week, just because I'm still learning like what I want to do and figure out how to do it. And I write to the parents every day about what I did, and I like wrote in there hoping that they'll like do this.
Right.
Do this with your kid. Like, have them slow down and stop. Like, especially those kids that have just like impulse.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 4 and 5.
I was gonna say how
like it, but the ones that like extra, they'll have like extra tough time with like impulse control. Even they respond to like everyone responds to that.
Yeah.
You just need to teach them what to do.
Well, and I'm sure they like love you.
Thanks.
Right.
But I keep hearing they do. And
so then like, it's even more fun to hear it from you.
Yeah, that's true. I'll be talking, and they'll go, Miss Julie, I love you.
Oh.
I love you too. It's the sweetest.
That is like literally the sweetest. Yeah.
It really is.
So sweet.
It really is. I'm really glad that I'm teaching that age. I used to teach 3-year-olds, which was great, but it was just way harder. And this is a lot. I like it a lot. Yeah. I feel like I can do a lot more.
Yeah. And between 3 and 4, like,
oh my gosh, huge jump.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Ginormous.
Yeah.
Ginormous.
That's Jules right now. She's 3.5, but definitely trending toward a 4-year-old mindset. Yeah. And you can just see that she's just
such an old soul anyway.
I know.
I love her.
Yeah. But her mind, I'm like, all right, when you turn 4, we can meditate for 4 minutes. We sat down the other day, because that's kind of like the rule of thumb is by age.
Okay. Yeah, that's
doesn't work out well.
They say it's like this high circle potential, and
depends on the day.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I love that. So in terms of those qualities of the purifying, the anger, aversion, desire, attachment, ignorance, delusion, like, where did that land with you?
I mean, I feel better than I came in here.
You look better. There's a little bit in there still, though. But
well, there's a whole trip home that needs to happen.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
They went down in an RV, and he felt that buckling my children is not necessary.
Oh, geez, Louise.
Yeah. They're 4 and 6, so
that's rough.
So talk about not having
control. Yeah. That's a tough one. The control when it comes to kids. Like, how do you that one's always a tough one with the kids. Even the non-attachment thing, it's like, I mean, I get it is like letting go of control, but there's certain aspects of life where I find it to be the most challenging practice too. Yeah.
It wasn't like a one-time thing. It was twice. Like when I FaceTimed after we already had the conversation one time, and then I called the next day and they were still not buckled in. I was like, there's 4
That's like disrespect too
on this trip. I texted all of them. I'm like, I don't understand how none of you feel like a 4-year-old and 6-year-old should not be buckled in.
Yeah.
That was my only stipulation for this trip.
Yeah.
Get your shit together.
Right. Yeah.
It's such a simple thing.
It's such a simple thing.
Literally, it's
such a simple thing.
Yeah.
That's what's like
right.
And that there's 4 adults.
Right.
And none of them feel like.
How far are they going?
They're in Florida.
Oh wow.
Goodness.
Yeah, it's not like, they're a long way away.
Yeah.
So it's a rough weekend.
No kidding. Well, even the letting go to have them go, I'm sure was
Yeah.
tough. But then that too. Like,
yes. Not cool.
yeah.
I was very nice the first time. I was a psychopath the second time.
Well, it's blatant disregard, you
Right.
know, it's like,
Yeah.
that's really, and it's your kids.
Yeah, that's what I said. I am their mother.
Yeah.
In capital letters.
Yeah.
Like, buckle them in.
Yeah. It's like the actual law.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like something people just made up.
No.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
I get there's gonna be a point where they're sleeping in the beds because it's driving RV. But if they're not, like, let's mitigate the risk.
Right.
And have them buckled in.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah. And even that could be, I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's so yeah, you were connecting with that. You have all that anger, aversion.
Literally all of it.
Yeah. Maybe not so much there, but anger and aversion. Yeah.
And I also had a seller that listed their home. I brought them an offer over ask, and then they just decided not to sell. So that was cool. So just a lot of wasted time and money.
I always feel like in those instances, I'm always like, all right, I need to like breathe some space into my life because the stress compiles, like,
yeah.
And then it feels like everything is stress until, like you said, right? You did like a practice, and then it creates like some space to be like, all right, not everything is stress, you know, and like
I just need a reset.
That's it. Yeah. Which is like that, you know, some meditation or some yoga, everything you're doing this morning will give you a little more space around that. But life is hard, you guys. Can we just talk about that?
Yeah, it is really hard. And it's like, I've done so much work, right? But he just has the ability to bring me back to this like gangster psychopath.
Yeah.
Fucking murder. I'm like in the drop of a hat too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I thought I was so much further along. And then he's like, no, you're not.
But you are because you're aware of it.
Yeah.
And you know that, and you're doing all the things to like help even when he's doing the terrible things.
Right. He's doing. And no one says that you're like, how are you supposed, you're you, right? So it's like, you're not going to be like, it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, that's not real.
Right. And I think that's what I was a little bit struggling with when you were talking about all of this, like letting go of all the, like the words that you're just saying.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, but don't we have those, like, we can't feel happiness if we don't feel those things.
Yeah.
So I think I was struggling with that, but then as you guys were just talking, I was thinking about like, actually what you just said, something about, I forget what it was exactly, but you feel it, but then something I said, like you're aware of it, and then I'm just like,
and then it can be like, both, like right, you're still happy, but this is also happening, right? It doesn't one doesn't have to override it feels like it overrides. Yeah. And happy, whatever word you want to use, your peace, right? It's still there, but right now this one is louder. You know what I mean? And like I feel like that's the balance. So we're not, that's sort of the flighty idea of these practices, that we're just trying to be happy all the time, which isn't true. It's just to recognize that happiness is always there, especially when we choose to do the practices. So like when you come out of this space today, you'll feel a little more balanced. Doesn't mean it's going to go away. And then you're aware of the emotions around it, and then you can choose how you want to react, right? So you don't have to be so disturbed. You don't, like, that's what these practices do, is like to not disturb what naturally exists within you all the time. When you become aware what naturally exists, which is peace, happiness, whatever, joy, like you don't have to be completely unraveled and disturbed. Right? That's like what it's for, is to try to maintain some kind of neutrality, and then be able to act versus react in a way that is the most beneficial for, in this instance, would be your kids and you know. Yeah. But yeah, obviously then there's our human nature and our personalities that we have to deal with. That's that's the dilemma of our personalities, not is dealing with what our reactions have. Like mine, I've always tended toward anger since I was a kid. That's just like part of my personality. I try to tell Josh that all the time.
It's like a little bit of hope.
Yeah, like it's just the way that I like. We have our constitutions, the what makes us up, how we're assimilated, and we tend towards certain emotions. Some people get like super upset, like emotionally crying, and some people get angry, and some people get, you know what I mean?
And how do you like when, so mine's like love and anger, I feel like.
Okay.
Like
Yep.
I'm much
Me
better
too.
now since
Yeah.
I started seeing my husband.
Yeah.
But because he's like, my parents, they would yell at each other, but they were fine. Like that was just what they did. That's
Yeah.
how they communicated. Yeah. So I thought that was normal.
Yeah. I understand.
My husband is like, Julie, like,
You
what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean, what am I doing? He's like, you're yelling at me. I'm like, yes, I know, I'm angry. And he's like, no.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Like,
Then
yes.
it it's so much better. Like I'll feel angry, and it comes out sometimes still as it will. Like
Totally.
that's just what's gonna happen.
Yep.
But just learning about that and just but with other people, I find that like I struggle with people who have wicked bad anxiety and like want to talk to me because I'm so like I feel like I want to attach to them, like just help them.
Yeah.
And I have a really hard time like just not doing that and just letting them be anxious. But I also am like, I don't want you to be anxious. I want you to just like not.
Yeah.
And because I feel bad that they're so anxious and I do not know how to, I'm getting better, but it's still like I want to be so much better because it hurts like when I can't help people. It makes me angry because I can't help them and they don't want help. This one person,
I was just gonna say, do they
like
even want it? Right.
But sometimes she tells me out, sometimes she doesn't, and then she'll get mad at me that I said something. I'm like, listen.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's her safe spot because that's what she knows.
Exactly. Yes, and I know that, but I feel like I'm struggling. I want to be better with being in presence of anxiety from other people because I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
It'll make me feel anxious and I do not want to feel like that.
Yeah.
So I want to figure out a way to just not.
I think a lot of it is like, we talked about this yesterday in the 300-hour presentation, 300-hour yoga teacher training is like, for me, it's become like getting quieter around people. Cause for years, I was writing notes, giving books, like trying so hard to like help.
So how did you stop that?
That's the same.
I just kept on doing like.
Are you a talker?
Keep on doing not anymore.
Okay.
I'm a quiet. I'm like learning.
Just observe. Yeah.
Learning to just zip it and be like, just be a presence. Because that's all anyone, unless they're actually asking for help.
Right.
For real.
Right.
All they want is just someone to just.
Yeah.
And then boundaries. Quiet, presence, loving as much as possible while working through my own stuff while it's happening with whatever's coming up. So a lot of breathing. It's not always perfect at all because sometimes I will, say too much or whatever. But yeah, that was recommended to me. It was like, set your boundaries. How much time do you want to spend with them?
That's what I think. Yes, and I've been doing great.
Good. And then when you're doing it though, active listening, but also feeling into your own body and breathing into the sensations that are coming up. Kind of like, I know for me, it's like this feeling where I kind of want to jump out of my skin.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So it's
and I have ADHD too, so I'm like that. Like literally.
Yeah. So
I feel like a volcano.
Breathing into that, like acknowledging it, like just acknowledging how you feel, but all silently, and responding in a way that's like neutral.
Okay.
And then readjusting those boundaries because you might have been like, that was a half hour too long.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's everything right there.
To do it with my sister.
Like, how do I stop this?
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, and I used to be so like, because I'm pretty quick-witted, so my mouth goes before I know how to stop it.
Right.
And I would like she would say something so like ridiculous, right? Like she can't get out of her own way because of her anxiety. So